autonomous vehicles, or AVs for short, are no longer theoretical. Like it or not, they are here, and they will be central to the future of roadways. AVs are now providing mobility to the disabled, improving auto safety, and advancing technologies that have the potential to save millions of wasted hours in traffic, and even more importantly, to save tens of thousands of American lives. Yet Congress has failed to establish a clear federal framework to govern AV deployment. That inaction is no longer neutral. It is unsafe. Without federal oversight, we risk a fragmented patchwork of state laws that could undermine safety, innovation, and American competitiveness. As we consider a surface transportation reauthorization bill, it is imperative that Congress act now to create a national standard for AVs. Even as some states seemingly wish to put up metaphorical roadblocks to AVs, other states are smartly getting into the fast lane. My home state of Texas understands that clear rules enable growth, investment, and safety. In Texas, AVs are moving freight on some highways and operating as taxis in cities like Austin. But AVs can't just stop at Texas's border. We should be clear about the resistance to federal action. Some insurance interests and advocacy groups argue against national standards, often under the banner of safety, while opposing reforms that would modernize our system. The vast majority of automobile accidents and crashes are from human error. But lower accident rates challenge business models built on high premiums driven by preventable collisions. The reality is this: the overwhelming causes of roadway fatalities today are drunk driving and distracted driving. Autonomous technologies never drive drunk. Autonomous technologies, they don't text while driving. They don't change the radio station. They don't drop their sunglasses and look for them while driving down the freeway. Expanding AV deployment offers real, measurable opportunities to reduce these deadly behaviors and to improve safety on our highways. If we want to save lives and avoid tragedy for almost 40,000 families each year, we don't need lawmakers saddling automakers with expensive junk mandates that make little to no real difference. Instead, we should follow the data, follow the evidence, which increasingly shows advanced AVs reduce crashes and prevent serious injuries. We need a consistent federal framework to ensure uniform safety standards, liability clarity, and consumer confidence. Uncertainty benefits no one, not drivers, not manufacturers, and not state and local officials responsible for public safety. Some, but not all, insurers are responding to the data. Companies like Lemonade have lower premiums for vehicles using full self-driving mode, reflecting growing confidence and growing evidence that these systems reduce risk. The numbers confirm what many already see. Technology designed to reduce human error makes roads safer. Let's also acknowledge that the technological progress from AVs won't endanger jobs. It will ultimately create them. AVs require American engineers, software developers, safety technicians, mechanics, manufacturing workers, and infrastructure specialists. AV deployment can support new, high-skilled jobs built in the United States by American workers. Moreover, AVs can make people more productive and traffic more bearable. If Congress fails to act, we're not going to stop innovation. We'll simply push it elsewhere. China is moving aggressively to deploy autonomous transportation at scale. The technologies at stake were developed in the United States. They can be built by American workers and they should be governed by American safety standards. A patchwork approach puts that leadership at risk. Finally, let me be clear about one other thing. The American consumer will decide what they choose to drive. No one is and no one should be mandating AVs. This isn't like Biden's de facto mandate killing the gas-powered car. But government inaction should not deny consumers access to be able to choose safer options. A federal framework for autonomous vehicles is not about picking winners. It's about setting clear rules, improving safety, creating American jobs, and ensuring that states like Texas can continue to lead. Surface reauthorization is the moment for Congress to act. I'll now turn to Ranking Member Cantwell for her.
America is at a turning point on transportation policy as autonomous vehicles move from theory to reality. Self-driving cars are already operating on U.S. roads, improving mobility for people with disabilities, reducing traffic congestion, and showing strong potential to prevent crashes caused by human error. Despite these advances, Congress has failed to create a clear federal framework for autonomous vehicle deployment. That inaction is increasingly seen as a safety risk. Without national standards, states are adopting conflicting rules that could undermine safety, slow innovation, and weaken America's global competitiveness. Some states, like Texas, have embraced autonomous technology. Self-driving trucks are moving freight on highways, and autonomous taxis are operating in cities such as Austin. But these vehicles cannot function efficiently if regulations stop at state borders. Opposition to federal standards often comes from certain insurance and advocacy groups that cite safety concerns. Supporters of autonomous vehicles argue the data tells a different story. Most traffic deaths are caused by drunk or distracted driving, behaviors autonomous systems do not engage in. Studies increasingly show advanced driver assistance and self-driving technologies reduce crashes and serious injuries. Industry data is beginning to reflect this shift. Some insurers are already offering lower premiums for vehicles using advanced self-driving systems, signaling growing confidence in the technology. Advocates also push back against concerns about job losses, noting that autonomous vehicles create demand for engineers, software developers, safety technicians, mechanics, and manufacturing workers, many of them based in the United States. Lawmakers warn that if Congress does not act, innovation will not stop, it will move overseas. China is rapidly deploying autonomous transportation at scale, threatening U.S. leadership in technology developed by American companies. Supporters stress that no one is mandating autonomous vehicles. Consumers will decide what they drive. But without federal action, Americans may be denied access to safer transportation options. They argue that a national framework is not about picking winners. It's about setting clear rules, improving safety, creating jobs, and maintaining U.S. leadership. With surface transportation legislation underway, they say now is the moment for Congress to act.